Sentience, how are we? 15 days into the new year. And it feels great. I can honestly say that since New Year's, it's felt different. But an old school high school memory came to me today that I just want to talk about because the symbolism behind it is pretty crazy. But basically, it was when we had gone to the fair. And the lights are on. You hear the carnival and arcade games going on in the background. Tons of people everywhere. People winning prizes. And off to the back, there was a small little tent with a bunch of people there. And so we all went over there to go check it out. And inside there was a hypnotist. And we were just watching this man, make people do the craziest, funniest, most hilarious stuff. And then when they came back to reality, it was like, poof, like they just magically came back to themselves. And so it was really fascinating and stuff. And, we were more to the back, off to the edge of the tent. And we slowly, gradually, started moving in, getting closer. And next thing you know, the hypnotist picks me. He said, hey, I choose you. And I'm like, what? So I was like, all right, let's see what's going on. And the funny thing is, while I was watching all these people do all this stuff, and when I was chosen, I thought to myself, man, there's no way, somebody can make me do that. There's no way. And little and behold, I get chosen. I go up there. I start following the hypnotist and whatnot. And it had been several minutes, and I was still me. I wasn't able to get under the illusion. And all of a sudden, the hypnotist just comes up to me, and he is just eyes almost popping out of his face. Just you gotta go now. You gotta go. And me, with my goofy self, I'm over here smiling and I'm laughing. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? All right, maybe somebody else is coming up or whatever. I didn't think much of it. And I turn around, I look at everybody else in the tent over there. And when I tell you, it was as if these people had seen something just absurd or evil. That's exactly what happened, man. All these people are just some people in their eyes and in their minds, man, they had pitchforks and stuff. And I'm just yo, this is hilarious. What's going on? Am I actually being yo, it's working now. I'm actually being hypnotized. And I slowly, walk off and I'm giggling and stuff. I go back with the boys and everything. And at some point we were walking off in the tent. I looked at him and I was like, guys, this hypnotist stuff is pretty crazy. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's working right now. Did you just see what happened back there? And they're like, bro, nothing happened. And I'm like, so I was me this whole time. And it's such a crazy thing to think about. Because as I was thinking and recalling this memory and stuff today, it made me think about symbolically how this large group of people got together underneath this tent to basically fall for an illusion so that they could all laugh and giggle about and stuff. And I mean, I was laughing and giggling too, it was great. But it's it's like a reminder, I guess, like how many people, whether we know it or not, maybe falling for like an illusion or something. I digress a little bit, but let me get back to my point. With the symbolism behind everyone gathered around the tent. It's like everybody wants to be hypnotized, and the ones who snap out of it, let's say, or who know the powers within, hence the supersentient, how powerful your mind and your vision is, and how it can alter your reality and your world. It was almost like a symbolism that I already knew back then, that I had control and stuff over my reality. And that a lot of people don't want to have, or don't see this kind of power or control within themselves. They see themselves as powerless. Like they're waiting to be hypnotized, like manipulated. And like, it's an interesting thought to think of today about all the different various habits that we've developed as like a society that are hypnotizing us so much. And it's funny how when you wake up from the hypnosis, how everyone around you has that shocked pitchfork attitude. It's almost like they're upset at you not falling for the illusion, you falling for the trick that they're falling for. And instead of questioning how and why that's achieved, they let that primal instinct, that ego take over their judgment. It's just like the Plato allegory of a cave. Once you get out of the cave and you come back to try and shed some light on the people in the cave, while you're thinking like, dude, I'm gonna free them, like they have no idea the potential and what lies on the other side. Like, bro, when you go in there, they don't want to see you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to chase you out. They're not going to believe you. Because they're still falling for the illusion, for the manipulation, for the hypnotization, being hypnotized. It's just crazy, man. Like, I can't recall the last time I thought about this memory. I don't really think I have until now. And this was like 20 plus years ago. And I had to sink. I had to sit and think for a second and be like, why did this just pop into my head for, some reason? And when I just stepped back and just realized, like, wow, this is what's happening now. Now that I'm walking in my light, now that I'm becoming a super sentient, everyone around me is looking at me like, you're not falling, you're not becoming hypnotized, you're not falling for the illusion. It's like, no, because I see the power that's within everybody. It's just a matter if you see it in you. If you see it in you. I see it in you. Let's go. Don't get stuck in the mud. Get up and get the ball rolling. It's beautiful out here. Sun's beaming. 15 days into the new year. Keep the momentum going. Let's get accelerated. That's right, everybody. Yo, I love you guys. Wish you guys the best always. And stay limitless. Let's get it. I'm out. I just want to add on real quick because it just came into my head that I think a lot of people are susceptible or like being manipulated, being puppeteers, being susceptible to hypnotists. I think it's because they're scared or afraid to step into the them, to step into the full them, you know, to become a super sentient, step into that super saiyan energy. I think people are afraid to become a Saiyan. You know, people are just comfortable staying at that Hercule level. You know, maybe getting the taste of the Kaioken and then being like, "Ah, you know, that's enough. I'm good. I'm good." You know, there's so many more stages out there, man. Once you break free, the real journey begins. The real awakening happens. Real life begins. Anyways, stay limitless, y'all.